Okay, so hello everybody. I'll just see how my name is William. Well, today we're talking about, since I already talked about age vacation a lot, I guess I have to talk about something else. Now, that might be coming in California as well, not just, because some people believe that we have to reject this idea. Today I'm going to talk about digital IDs. All right, now I'll be asking, right? Because I think in some other states here in the U.S. and I think some other countries, and I think in some European countries as well. I think some other countries like in Europe and Oceania region. I don't know about in Asia yet, but they're gonna say that you can use your digital ID to verify your age. Yeah, well, let me tell you about that. That's not gonna work here in California, because the only thing you have to do for age vacation here in California is just inputting your birth date, and I already showed you. I already made a video about it. It's going to go. Yeah, it won't go. Yeah, it will go to effect in January of 2027. But look, I've been emailing my representatives about this, but they haven't contacted me back yet. So I'm gonna have to do it again anyway. So I don't know any way to stop age vacation if we're going to effect here in California. But it's going to be. But yeah, it's scheduled in January 2027. So it's only our birth date. So that they want anyway. Yeah. So I'm on Brave search. Animals on Google search. So you might be asking, how will digital IDs work in California? Right? Because I know I live in California. Well, that may be a good question. You might know about that. You can see how many digital IDs are used in California. I don't know how this is stuff you're going to have to learn about. I'm just Googling it. So here, oh yeah, how will digital IDs be useful in California? And then I will do it in the Brave search engine as well. No. Okay, let's look at that. Google's AI just says California digital IDs like mobile driver's license or iPhones. On iPhones, you can also have it on your Google phone, or yes. So supposed to be I don't know why many people tell us that you have to reject the idea of digital IDs, because many people believe the government will control us with digital IDs. Now let me tell you something. I don't want the government to control me with a digital ID. That's just stupid anyway. Okay? And I won't want to use it for age vacation either, because I don't want to give the government info either. That's just stupid anyway. And good thing I have to worry about that here in California. It's just, the only thing for age vacation here in California is just my birth date. Which, yeah, I know. Like I already said, it will go effective in 2027, so. Anyway. If you know when to stop it, you can still talk about it even if you live outside of California. You know, that's my lib. Alright, so California's digital IDs, like mobile driver's license on iPhones, or enhanced security privacy, convenience to dream areas and government services, preventing fraud, like E-double-D benefit uses, simplifying age vacation bars, prescription, studio, travel airports, by securing sharing only necessary info. But all under framework emphasizing privacy design and better digital access, all residents. So key benefits in California include digital IDs are harder to forge or steal in physical cards, and biometrics could counterfeit and secure identity confirmation. So yeah, well, that's one thing. Is what problem is that what happens if you lose your phone? Well, I guess you can use. I guess you can still have your digital ID on the computer and stuff, or your tablet. I guess if you lose your phone, I guess I don't know. That's the only problem. That's why I guess I don't know. That's just my. That's I don't know. That's why I have the problem here. So it does. Okay, so how would so they said right here increase privacy? That's what it is. Users share only their required data, just age for a store instead of full ID details, giving them more control of their personal information. All right, yeah, okay. Streamline government services to provide verifying eligibility for state programs like CalFresh, reducing fraud administrative burdens and agencies, and convenient access to digital versions of a digital version of your driver's license on your phone works with TSA checkpoints. Okay, and it says right here, picking up prescriptions or entering age-restricted revenues, ACE. Okay, yeah, ACEable, and then fraud prevention. Okay, it says right here, it helps agencies accurately verify identities for benefits, preventing issues like a mass wrongful details seen with E-double-D, and then better digital experience. A single secure login and various state services via for California Digital ID framework built by the California Department of Technology, CTT, improves digital access. So you can see how it works. You can show your digital ID in your via DEV app and TSA checkpoint, and your code transmits your basic details and your verification, your identity against your live photo, and then verification happens without having your physical ID boarding process though, but having a board up physical ID is still recommended. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the DMV will even accept digital IDs. Probably not until like maybe I don't know. Maybe not until like 2030 maybe. But you know, who knows? If you think we should reject the idea of digital ID, you know what? That's fine. You can let me know about that because I'm also looking up a Brave search as well. So here, digital IDs in California are designed to enhance access and to services, improve security, and promote privacy and equality. The California Digital ID framework is managed by the California Department of Technology, CDT, establishes and secure standardized system and digital identity and eligibility verification and store agencies. This framework enables digital, critical, and accessing multiple state benefits, reducing the need for being verified identity across different programs. Alright, okay, so where the primary benefits, it's easier to secure access. Californians can now store their driver's license and state IDs in Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. Okay, I guess, and so is their DMV wallet. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I did not know they can do this, but yeah. It says allowing them to present their identity digitally of select businesses, TSA security checkpoints at major airports like San Francisco International and Los Angeles International and Apple store locations. This digital verification process is more secure than physical credentials and minimizing the risk of countering the fraud. Only shares physical information required for transaction. So this build set there's a privacy design possibilities. First information is encrypted by user device. Neither Apple nor the DMV can access, track the ID as presented, and then users must then dedicate the Face ID or Touch ID before sharing any information. They retain full control for the sharing data is shared. This ensures that sensitive data is not necessarily by state agencies, reducing the risk of data breaches. It says additionally, digital ID streamlines administrative processes, state agencies, and standardizing identity verification, and framework reduces cost burden. Managing individual verification systems, enabling more efficient service delivery. The California Identity Gateway, the central component of the framework, verifies identity, age, veterans status, integrates with systems, login.gov, and CalFresh, confirm legibility. And the program supports innovation of broader adoption. The DMV has launched a mobile-first pilot program up to over 500,000 residents already using the digital ID through the DMV Wallet app. And the state plans to expand acceptance with partnerships with retailers with law enforcement and encourage developers to integrate the digital ID in their applications. As for December 2025, digital ID is available on iPhone, on Apple Watch via Apple Wallet, and an Android version already available on Google Wallet. While the digital ID does not replace the need for a physical card while driving. It offers a convenient, secure, and private alternative of identification in various settings. Okay. Well, and you can read about California's digital ID strategy right here. And then right here, see, you see right here, it says California drivers get multiple licenses on their iPhones, but they may need physical ones too. You see, so digital IDs are coming up in California too. It said you probably. This won't take too long for me to read, but you can read it to yourself. And digital ID framework, you can here, see? Yeah, it's for your California Department of Technology. And about the digital ID framework, you can read that if you want to. And how it works, see? I'm trying to show you guys, because this might be the new thing in here in California. You're safe and digital. It's safe and scalable digital access for Californians. Because I'm talking about, well, I'm trying to do this because I live in California. That's why. You know, and now, for now the people that want to call it California, you know what? You can call it if you want to call it California, that's fine. Thinking that California is communist, fine. But I just call it California, you know, because that's what we've been calling it for probably ever since. Well, it's been calling California at least for a long time anyway, so. So, Now, I have a question for you. What's wrong with having a digital ID? Why do you think it's bad? I want to know why. Because here's on YouTube. I got the Let me get onto my YouTube channel here. And I'll get on post. Oh yeah, so a lot of you believe it. So you think, okay, so 75% of you think it's bad, and right here it says bad for me, but good for the Antichrist. Well, let me tell you about the budget about that first of all. Okay, yeah, good answer. I don't. And 25% think it's good. Okay, well, that's something I would like to know. I don't have an answer, but first of all, our digital IDs. Let me tell you, I don't know much about digital IDs. I don't know much about them. I just heard about it coming out in California. I just heard about it coming out in the U.S. I believe it's going to be held coming out in. It's going to be here in California too. So. Yeah, I'll put this. Let me I'll put this in my folder, guys. Okay, and then we'll do this too. This is in calmatters.org. You can read this to yourself if you want to. I got 17 shields blocked on this. This thing does want to. I guess this calmatters.org is trying to track you, but I got blocked on my Brave browser. Yeah. But I got the tracks blocked on my Brave browser. So. And they only got 2 of them blocked on this one. Oh yeah, it's called Digital ID Strategy.ctt.ca.gov. That's the name of this website. Okay, I just don't know much about this. It says right here, Digital Identity Project. I'll let you read this to yourself, because. Why do people believe we should reject the idea? Because here now it says right here on YouTube. If you want to watch this YouTube right here, it says California DMV now offers digital driver's license. Yes. But why do people think we should reject the idea of digital IDs? Well, let me read about. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Why is? Let me Google that because I'm just trying to figure this out, guys. I don't know much about digital IDs. Okay, why are some people against digital ID? Okay. Let me take a look at this, okay? Because I don't know much about this. I try to do. Okay, so I'm trying to figure this out, guys. Okay, so why are some people against digital ID? Well, I've been reading about it, right? Okay, well, let's see. As opposed to digital ID systems might primarily significant concerns of privacy, surveillance, and data security risk, and assist by your inclusion, vulnerable populations, and the government overreach or misuse of power. Alright, so the key reasons some people are against the digital IDs include, it says privacy and surveillance. Critics argue that, that create a single centralized connection of digital ID database facilities by government and corporate tracking individuals' activities, locations or purchases. This function creep of the digital exchange relationship of the citizens of state, papers, police, and individuals can be forced, and their identity are everyday direction. So data security risk. So centralized databases are containing vast amounts of your personal and biometric information, create attractive targets, honeypots for hackers, and install nation states. Past government failures, large IT project, and high-profile data breaches in countries like Estonia have a site of digital ID success story and government's ability. The extensive data of theft or misuse. So it says social inclusion of inequality. Mandatory digital ID schemes can disadvantage marginalized vulnerable groups, including internally low-income individuals, people with disabilities, and non-citizens who may not have the access to smartphones, reliable internet, or the necessary underlying documentation. This could block them from accessing additional government services and benefits, exacerbating existing inequalities. So government overreach and control. Opponents fear that once implemented, the scope of digital IDs could easily be expanded beyond the additional purpose. Right to work checks and include control over bank accounts and health records or travel potentially into systems that can restrict individuals' freedoms or enforce social compliance as seen authoritarian regimes. Well, like in China, lack of trust in democratic mandate. In some countries, particularly the UK, there's a deep cultural particular suspicion with digital ID systems and a lack of public trust in the government. And such a system inequate legal safeguards the oversight. And critics also point out these proposals are sometimes introduced that clear democratic mandate and sufficient public debate. So the reasons as it says to you in the United States and Big Brother watching the UK and permanent voices, opposition, campaigning for strong privacy protections like the right of use and non-digital alternatives. So okay, and I got it on Brave search as well. It says read this. Some people oppose digital ID systems, concerned about privacy, surveillance, and potential avoiding misuse of personal data. Critics argue that a mandatory digital ID, just as proposed a red card in the UK, would make individuals digital paths for daily activities, eventually changing relationship this in the state, and there's a distrust governance of the system and give passive ID projects and breaches in databases. And a centralized data system is seen the honeypot for hackers, foreign adversaries posing their hypersecurity risks. Another key concern is the fluctuation creep, the idea of system initially introduced is the purposes of verifying right to work and eventually expanded and track and monitor wide and personal activities, and it says including location, and extra online behavior, and this could include into surveillance of infrastructure akin to China's social credit system, where access to services and freedoms might be controlled by the state defining behavior. Critics also highlight marginalized groups, such as those with income and disabilities or elderly, may face great barriers accessing digital services, accessibility inequality. There is a skepticism about the necessity of digital IDs. Individuals already possess multiple forms of identification, such as passports, driver's license, and national insurance numbers. And purposeful lacks of democratic mandate with polls probability of the current government, Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Yeah, I hate that guy. Yeah, no, he's the reason why we have H-vacation over the world. And he also doesn't believe in Jesus. So yeah, I think he's going to hell when he dies. But he also announced, who announced plans for digital ID systems. Is this not being part of the Labour Party's election platform? Furthermore, the involvement of private corporations who estimate track of the public contract raises concerns of the company of data control of the data stored and managed through the entities of outside UK's jurisdiction. The identity verification was criticized more invasive and in-person checks and require uploading and send documents or biometric data of third-party companies and risk of data leaks and misuse. These systems can enable invasive biometric surveillance and diversity affect categories, including LGBTQ plus individuals and activities, forcing them to disclose personal information and digital online sources. These reasons why many view digital ID is not the solution to social issues, but the tool and increased state appropriate over personal freedom. Okay, so if you want to believe that if you want to know, look, if you don't want to get a digital ID, that's fine. I'm not saying you, I don't know. Yeah, I get it, guys. I don't believe you should be forced to get one. Yeah, I get it, guys. I do believe you should not be forced to get a digital ID if you don't want it. Okay? You should be free of not wanting a digital ID, right? If you don't want it, then you should be able to not get it, right? It should be okay if you don't want a digital ID. But what about the people that do want it? That's my question. And what about the people that already have a digital ID? Because I think there are some people that already have it. And that's something you have to learn about. maybe we should look at the pros and cons of having a digital ID. Yeah, I'll look at that. Because maybe you don't know much about this, and I'll show you. Okay, so here's on Google. It says right here, digital IDs can offer convenience and physical cards, online access, and harder to physically steal, but raise on concerns about mass surveillance and data breaches, and okay, those without tech surveillance, okay, and it's been used by governments. Corporations create a balance between misdeeds and activities. So here's the pros or the benefits. You can say this: to convenience digitally and carry less of services, banking, health, and travel, easily streamline government functions. To enhance security of physical, the harder and lose physical steal. Okay, harder to lose or physical steal wallets, are harder to fraudsters or stolen physical cards. So that's something. And improve for privacy, additional, enable sovereignty identity, letting users control data sharing. So you disclose and just age not full ID, and then it says right here, emergency access. Phone not full always with you, but helps emergencies just identify conscious individuals. Now better service access helps displaced people, improves digital inclusion. So that's why. Okay, so that's the pros. But what about the cons, the risks? Well, so you can say as privacy and surveillance could be the problem. Digital of unprecedented tracking and movements, activities associated by governments and companies. So yeah, I don't think the government should control you at all with the digital ID. That's stupid anyway. That's the part I don't. That's not good. It says data security and breaches. Essential data becomes a prime target for hackers, large-scale leaks. So that could happen too. Yeah. It says digital inclusion. Its advantages is without smartphones, internet, or tech illiteracy, and the poor rule. And then it says system reliance, vulnerable to power outages and internet failures or tech malfunctions. Yeah, that could happen too. And it says right here, it gives us a login, become reliant on just to take platforms like Apple and Google, can limit choice, so that can happen. And then misuse of power, like it can expand to state control and limit anomalous participation in civic life. And then it says identity theft. If compromised, digital theft can be harder to recover from than physical theft. Yeah. And then the core trade-off. Digital IDs offer a powerful, convenient tool for modern life, but if any shift power dynamics could between this is security and personal freedom and privacy. So many people are saying that why digital IDs are dangerous and why digital IDs are so dangerous. Yeah, I'm not gonna put the YouTube videos on because, well, I want to get copyright claim on YouTube. That's why. You can watch it yourself. And here it says pros and cons of digital IDs. So right here it says adoption of digital IDs. Its potential benefits and limited challenges. From its enhanced convenience as a single digital ID can be streamlined authentication across various services, and then reducing needs to remember. Multiple usernames, passwords carry physical documents. This condition can speed up processes, reduce paperwork, and minimize identity fraud. And in sectors like healthcare, welfare and licensing, digital identity wallets, and particularly offer users control over their data, allowing them to share necessary information, just as converting an address without revealing social security number, thereby improving privacy and reducing data exposure. But they also enable secure connections and can estimate access, like tipper IDs or guest passes. Okay, so in my governance perspective, digital IDs are seen as a tool that has improved digital inclusion, expand across banking governance services, and this is where you're doing encryption and increased tax revenues. The European Union estimates the adoption of drawing identity wallets can continue up to 9.6 billion euros and create more than 27,000 jobs within 5 years. We also didn't mention paper use. In some countries, the digital ID systems already operational, such as in the Netherlands and Australia, where facial recognition is used for border control, allowing for faster and more seamless travel. However, significant concerns remain. Centralized digital ID systems pose digital privacy and security risks, including potential massive data breaches, identity theft, and unauthorized surveillance. The concentration of sensitive personal data, such as biometrics and beneficial records, location information, and it's the single database of primary target cyber attacks. Critics argues that such systems can lead to additional exclusion, but as groups including non-citizens and elderly, people with disabilities, where populations may lack the access to technology and documentation. In India, for example, mandatory magic education and public food distribution can lead to execution errors and increased transaction costs on vulnerable individuals. And then there's also, and they go to human rights concerns, including the potential for digital IDs to be used to be tools for government control and persecution or discrimination, especially when linked by biometrics and mandatory. The rank of misuse authorities of corporations linked to the lack of transparency over control over data undermines the trust of these systems. Furthermore, mention of systems and technically complex, and furthermore, risk of delays, overruns, and the deliver of provides benefits. Challenges, in case proposals, digital ID rollout. While digital IDs may offer a path to more efficient future, the success hinges of robust security, inclusive design, and strong safeguards and protect individual rights. Yeah. If you believe you should reject this idea, that's fine. He can reject the idea of the digital ID. I don't know, okay? I don't know if I want to have it or not, okay? I'm just making a video about it. You can, right here, you can hear some other YouTube videos. Like right here, it says right here, here's why digital ID is so dangerous. Okay, and right here it says why ID is extremely dangerous. That's what it says right here. You can you can watch those YouTube videos. I'm not gonna watch them myself because I don't want to get copyrighted from YouTube, but just try to look at it from Brave Search and Google Search. Okay, I don't know much about digital IDs. I'm just trying to look it up for you guys. So, in case you want to know about it. I don't know much about digital IDs. But, you know, these... So I try to find out how they will work in California. You know, be asking because I live in California. Oh yeah, here's the California DMV.gov website. And there's the California DMV wallet app, see? Well, this is the DMVCA.gov. I will put that. You can read this part yourself if you want to. If you want. You know, look, now guys, I'm not asking you to have a digital ID. Okay, I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to make it just means if you do want it or not. If you don't want it, that's fine. You don't need it. Nobody should force you to have it. You know. Okay, right here. So it says right here how digital IDs work in California. Well, let's read about this. So how California digital IDs deals work by security storing digital version of your driver's license, a smartphone, Apple or Google Wallet, or using countless identity verification, primarily in select airports of TSA, logging to DMV online systems for age verification, or visiting stores using a true age system. You can add by your physical ID using feature-based movements of verification, and certificates that the California DMV users must carry their physical ID. They can present digital one by doubling and clicking their phone side button, and they're basing your Face ID or Touch ID computer readers using only necessary information. This is how it works for users. Enrollment at your ID in the wallet app by taking your picture and handing your physical license, copying your face, and then handing movement verification. This is so here possession in person. Double click your side button, select your ID, and hold your phone near identity reader, and use Face ID and Touch ID to authenticate. They're now sharing data. This app stores going to collect data, e.g. over 21, rather than your full details and in privacy. So airports. It says right here, excited to select airports like San Jose, Arenado, DSA checkpoints, notes California DMV. Just log in. Oh yeah, and then okay, there's some age verification for digital IDs in California, but not for social media. It says right here, it says that with True H app, producing shares with 840 restricted purchases like alcohol and tobacco. Oh, okay. So they're asking for. Okay, so they're using. Okay, so they're many IDs for like alcohol and tobacco. Okay, I get that, but I don't drink alcohol and I don't chew tobacco. Okay, alcohol is. And besides, the Bible says, "Be sober, be vigilant." Okay, so yeah, don't drink. Yeah, to me, I'm against drinking alcohol and I'm against chewing tobacco. Okay, drinking alcohol and chewing tobacco is just stupid anyway. Why want to do that to yourself? Yuck. Anyway, let's just keep reading. It says future expand to more businesses, law enforcement, governor agencies through the California Digital ID framework. And it says secure and private biometric data, face and fingerprint, and choreography making harder to fake, says biometric update. And it says data control. And it says to control what information be shared, not the government, may chain large lists. Notes state scoop. And it says that you still need physical ID. Currently, you must carry your physical license as the digital version doesn't fully replace it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, you still need your physical license. Your digital version won't fully replace it. Yeah, that's what they're saying. So you still need your physical one when you go to the DMV. Yeah, your digital one won't fully replace it. That's what they're saying is. Yeah. Yeah. It might work. So it does not work right now. I don't know. Maybe in 2030 it might work. I don't know. Yeah. So California residents can add their driver's license to IDs to Apple Wallet and Google Wallet as part of the pilot program outlining to use digital versions. Okay, this is a Brave search. Okay, versions of ID verification, cellular qualifications. The program to 1.5 million participants enable users and security present their ID, Faces ID, or Touch IDs that's sharing this information. The digital IDs are integrated with Apple and Google Wallet systems, more with a convenient, purposely focused alternative physical cards. So here it says, with Apple and Google Wallets, California driver's license and state IDs can be added to Apple Wallet on iPhone or Apple Watch, and to Google Wallet on Android devices. Following its updates to support states' mobile driver's license pilot system and estimated need for separate DMV app enroll and use. So privacy and security features like when presenting the digital ID only for information. Required transaction is shared to users authorized using biometrics of Face ID or Touch ID. Apple and Google do not store or track when your ID is presented. You need to get it on your user device. And this is for your acceptance of use cases. Digital IDs could accept by select TSA checkpoints at Los Angeles International, San Francisco International, and San Jose Manhattan airports, as well as Apple Store locations for pickup and Genius Bar appointments. They are used for age verification, and they can be used for age verification on certain businesses and revenues, for services clear membership and enrollment. Additional partners, including Toro, MindChart, and Uber Eats, are expected to be support features soon. And it says enroll process. To enroll, users must open Apple Wallet or add plus button, a driver's license or state ID, or a physical ID to take a selfie to complete their facial verification process. The store is free to verify users compatible device, iPhone access, or later or Apple Watch Services 4 ID. Okay, it says 10 Watch OS 10 or later. This says this of future expansion. The current program is kept at 1.5 million users. Widespread depends on business agencies the necessary technology to verify digital IDs, while the state is working to expand use cases, including disaster response and identity verification across state agencies. Full state rollout remains limited by pilot's scope. Okay, so I'm reading about how digital IDs will work here in California, since I live in California. Anyway, I don't know how, you can find out how they work in your state if you live outside of California. If you believe that we should reject the idea of digital ID, you know what? That's fine. You can reject the idea. I don't know if I want to get. I don't know if I want it one right now. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to get digital ID just yet either. I don't know yet. But I do believe you should not be forced to get one. That's just stupid anyway. And I don't believe the government should control you on it either. That's just stupid anyway. Alright, well, whether you want this or not, it should be up to you. Okay, and nobody should be forced to have one. Okay? Okay, if you want one, that's fine. You should be either free to have one or not to have one. You know the digital IDs. Anyway, that's just my guess anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if I want a digital ID or not. But I'm just making a video about it because it's something coming up. And it's something rolling out in the US, including here in California. So, even though I should or shouldn't get one, I really don't care if I get. I really don't know if I should get one or not yet. So, I'll wait until later to get. I'll wait until later if I need to get one or not. But as right now, I don't think I don't. I'm not gonna get one right now. So, I'm just gonna make a video about it because, I still believe what the Bible says. So, yeah, I don't know. You can let me know if you have a digital ID or not. But yeah, don't show it to me though. You could just tell me on the comments below. Yeah. Oh yeah, and make sure you watch make sure you watch how to go to heaven video. Okay? Yeah, on Rumble. And it's on YouTube and BitChute as well, so if you don't like using Rumble, that's okay, but yeah. I love Rumble, but Alright, and I'll talk about maybe I'll talk about next video. You see how long I made this video for. Okay. I'll put this I'll put these articles in the below so that you can read about how digital IDs will work in California. And what's your intake about digital IDs? I know even if you live outside of California, you can always still let me know about it. Yeah. Okay, well maybe next video I may talk about digital currency, digital money. Well, I'll be talking about that next video. Alright? Yeah, I'll be talking about that next video. Anyway. Yeah, because I have to go right now. But thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. And you can tell me what's your idea about this anyway. But I have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. So goodbye. Adios, 再见.